Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are students from Group 6 from CDCS24028 want to present to all of you about our group project for ICT450 database design and development. It's prepared for and guided by Madam Zatul Amilah binti Shafi'i. My name is Muhammad Sadar Hasif bin Rozanizam as the first presenter from my group. We'll start present about CSM engineering hardware Sendirian Berhad. This is our table of contents, which are group members, company background, problem statements, objectives, entity relationship diagram, ERD, 3NF relational schema, tables with data integrity, data dictionary, data definition language output, screenshot of applications, and last but not least, then pop-up questions, SQL queries. Before we go through, I would like to let my lovely viewers know about who are behind for this project, also known as group members. Not knowing is hence not loving. The first one is Arif Lutfi bin Shahrim, Fazmil bin Borhan, Muhammad Haris Haikal bin Othman. It's me, Muhammad Sadam Hasif bin Rozanizam, and the last one is Shahrul Shamri bin Hassan. The first one that I will present is about company background. CSM Engineering Hardware Industry is in services and hardware supply business. Incorporated in 1998, CSM Engineering Sdn Bhd was founded by a group of seasoned entrepreneurs. Based in Puchong, Malaysia, their company thrives in this vibrant city, strategically located for accessibility and growth. In 2001, CSM Engineering Sdn Bhd established its headquarters in Section 25, Shah Alam. Since then, they have expanded their footprint with 10 branches nationwide, headquarters included, ensuring widespread coverage and efficient service delivery across Malaysia. The products that they are making, such as paint, tools, electrical, plumbing, hardware, lawn garden, automotive, household lubricant, industrial safety, and architectural. Under the leadership of Lee Bing Hong, appointed as CEO, CSM Engineering Sdn Bhd is poised for an exciting future. Lee Bing Hong spearheads the group's strategic initiative and vision for growth, ensuring innovation and excellence in every endeavor. Other than that, this company also have their own mission, vision, and core values to make sure they will get their goals in future. Their mission is the massive expansion of 100 chain store across ASEAN, and their vision is to become the pioneer in industrial services and hardware suppliers. They also highlight three main core values, which are quality, integrity, and endeavor. Next, we move to CSM Engineering Sdn Bhd products and services. CSM Enterprise offers a comprehensive range of hardware products including servers, networking equipment, storage solutions, and peripherals. The products that they are making, such as paint, tools, electrical, plumbing, hardware, lawn garden, automotive, household, lubricant, industrial safety, and architectural. Next, we're moving on to the problem statements. The first one is manual data entry errors. Sometimes in our company, we face an issue with our product where we are unable to scan its barcode. As a result, our cashier is required to manually enter the product ID. However, this method is prone to errors, which can cause problems with our database, actual stock levels, decision making, and customer satisfaction. Secondly, data security and privacy. Our receipts contain sensitive information regarding our customers, such as their bank number and payment details. We believe that ensuring the security and privacy of this data is crucial and needs to be protected against unauthorized access, data breaches, and compliance violations. And last but not least, data integration. Our retail operates through multiple sales platforms, including a physical store and an online platform. Integrating this data into a centralized database can be complex due to the need for synchronization of inventory levels, sales records, and customer profiles across all channels. Our main objectives are to design a data management system that can tackle data entry errors using ERD for CSME hardware company. Next, to identify sensitive information and prevent any potential data breaches. And the last one is to develop a streamlining data integration system that is more effective and efficient. We also have 4 scopes for our group projects, which are: the first one is develop validation checks during data entry to minimize manual errors, focusing on product ID accuracy and error detection algorithms to identify and rectify incorrect entries in real time. Secondly, strengthen data encryption protocols to safeguard sensitive customer information and implement access control mechanisms to restrict unauthorized access to customer data. Thirdly, building a unified database architecture that seamlessly integrates data from physical stores and online platforms. And the last one, conduct performance tuning exercises to improve database responsiveness and scalability, and implement load balancing strategies to evenly distribute user traffic and prevent system overloads.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ari Lufi bin Shahrim, and today I'm gonna introduce about entity relationship diagram, which is ERD for our company, which is CSM Engineering Hardware. Firstly, we have 8 tables. We have admin table, employee table, invoice table, payment table, customer table, order table, product table, and also order detail table. Firstly, admin table. Admin table, we have a primary key, which is admin ID. We have also a foreign key, which is employee ID, and the other attributes is username and password. Next, for the employee table, we have a employee ID, which is the primary key for this table, and the other attributes is employee name, employee phone number, and employee email. Next, we go to invoice table. In this invoice table, we have a primary key, which is invoice ID, and also we have a foreign key, which is a payment ID, and the other attributes is invoice time, invoice date, payment method, and total pay. Next, we go to payment table. We have only a primary key, which is payment ID, and also the other attributes is payment description. Next, we go to customer table. Customer table, we only have a primary key, which is customer ID, and the other attribute is customer name, customer phone number, and customer email. Next, we go to order table. Order table, we have a primary key, which is the order ID, and the other foreign key is a customer ID, product ID, employee ID, and invoice ID, and the other attributes is order time and order date. Next, we go to product table. Product table, we have a primary key, which is product ID, and the other attribute is product name, product price. Lastly, we go to the order details table. Order details table, we have a primary key, which is order detail ID, and we also have a foreign key, which is order ID, product ID, and our other attributes is product name, quantity, and total. Alright, next I will explain you about the next slide, which is the relational schema. For the first number form, of course, we need to include the partial dependency, functional dependency, and also transitive dependency, as you can see on the slide. So for the second normal form, we need to remove the partial dependency. Alright, as you can see, we have an order table, customer table, product table, invoice table, admin table, order details table, and payment table, as you can see on the slide. Lastly, for the third normal form, we remove all the partial dependency and transitive dependency, as you can see on the slide.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Shahrul and I would like to talk about two topics from our group project database, which is data dictionary and data definition language output. So let's proceed to the next page. So let's proceed to our first topic, which is data dictionary. For those who don't know, data dictionary helps us understand how our data is structured and organized. So let's start with the admin table. Here we have admin ID, which is a long integer and serves as our primary key. Then this employee ID, which is a foreign key linking to the employee table. We also have username and passwords, both stored as a short text. These fields are crucial for admin and employee login details. Next up is the customer table. The cust ID is a primary key here and it's a long integer. We also have fields like cust name, cust phone number, and cust email, which store customer information. This table is essential for keeping track of our customers. Moving on, we have the employee table. The primary key here is employee ID, long integer. We also store details like employee name, employee phone number, and employee email. These fields help us manage employee information effectively. And for the next one, we have invoice table. The invoice ID is the primary key and is stored as short text. We also have invoice time and invoice date, both in date and time formats. Additionally, there's payment ID, which links to the payment table, and total paid, which is stored as currency. Next is the order table. Here, order ID is the primary key, stored as a short text. Cust ID is a foreign key linking to the customer table. We also have order ID, order time, and order date fields, which help us track order details. The order detail table is next. It has order detail ID as the primary key. We also have order ID, product ID, quantity, and total, which link to other tables and detail each other's specifics. In the payment table, payment ID is the primary key, and we include a payment description field to describe the payment. Last but not least, we have the product table, and here, product ID is the primary key. It's stored as a short text. We also have product name and product price, which provide details about the product. So let's proceed to the next page. For this page, I'm going to talk about the data definition language scripts that we have used to create the tables in our database. The scripts define how our data is structured and how different tables are related to each other. Let's start with the admin table. We begin by creating the admin table with admin ID as a primary key. It's an integer. Then we have the employee ID field, which is also an integer and serves as a foreign key referencing the employee table. We also include username and password, both defined as varchar 255 to store text up to 255 characters. Next, we move to the customer table. Here, customer ID is our primary key and it's an integer. We also have cust name and cust email, both defined as varchar 255. For storing phone numbers, we use cust phone number as a big int. Now, let's talk about the employee table. This table has employee ID as the primary key, an integer. We also have fields like employee name and employee email, both defined as varchar 255. For the phone numbers, we use employee phone number, which is a big int. Moving on to the invoice table, we have invoice ID as a primary key, defined as varchar 255. We also include invoice time and invoice date, both set as date time. The payment ID field is a foreign key that references the payment table, and we have total paid defined as decimal 18,2, which allow us to store monetary values with precision. Next up is the order table. The order ID is our primary key and is defined as varchar 255. We also include cust ID, which is an integer and a foreign key referencing the customer table. This table also has product ID, order time, and order date fields. The order detail table is next. Here, order detail ID is a primary key defined as varchar 255. We also include order ID, product name, and quantity. A total field is defined as decimals 18,2. This table also includes foreign keys referencing the order and product tables. In the payment table, payment ID is a primary key, defined as varchar 255. We also include a payment description field, also varchar 255, to store details about the payment. And finally, we have the product table. The product ID is a primary key and is defined as varchar 255. We also have product name as varchar 255 and product arise as decimal 18,2. That's all from me.
Hi, my name is Haris. I'm going to talk about screenshot of our application. So, as you can see, this is our main menu screen. In this screen, we have our logo, our company name, which is CSM Engineering Hardware, and welcome text to welcome our user. In this screen, we have two sections, which is form and form report. The form section provides quick access to create different forms. There are 8 types of form: admin, customer, employee, invoice, order detail, product, and payment. It also can easily user to create and submit various forms through this section. Then, the form report section allow user to generate report for 4 different form type. Similarly, the form section, it provide button for admin, customer, employee, invoice, order detail, product, and payment report. This section enable user to view detailed information and insight about the submitted form. Hi, it's me again, Haris. In this slide, I'm going to talk about form screen. Actually, we have 8 table form, but in this slide, I put 4 only because each table has same buttons and others. First, main menu button to allow user go back to previous screen, which is main menu screen. Next, as you can see, below logo and our company name, we have 8 button, which is our 8 table form. Then we have 6 button below text field, which is delete button to allow user delete their record, save button to allow user save their record, refresh button to allow user refresh if have any new record, and add button to allow user add new record, and arrow button to allow user see previous record and next record. And lastly, we have subform in below screen to easily user see the new record. I'm going to talk about form report, same like previous slide, which is form screen that actually have 8 form report, and this slide only have 4 example report. So based on example, you can see this screen also have main menu button to allow user go back to main menu screen. So this can easily user to see all form report such as admin report, employee report, customer report, and other report. Next, you can see in our report, we do square table as structure to look good and easy for user to read. We also put date and time, number of pages, and total record in left below.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Fazmin bin Burhan, and now I will present to you about 10 pop-up questions for the SQL series. So for the first one, display the list of employee ID, employee name, employee phone number, and employee email. So we use the select employee table, employee ID, employee table dot employee name, comma employee table dot employee phone number, comma employee table dot employee email, and then we from the employee table. So that is our output for the table. For the second queries, display the product name and product price in ascending order. So we use the select product table dot product name, comma product table dot product price from the product table, and order by product table dot product price. So as you can see the output of the table, the product price is in an ascending order from the top to the bottom. For the third queries, retrieve the total invoices ID from date 11 July 2024 to 20 July 2024. So for the SQL statement, select invoice table dot invoice ID, invoice table dot invoice date. So from invoice table, where's invoice table dot invoice date between 11 July 2024 and 20 July 2024. So for the output, we get the invoice ID for invoice 1004 and invoice 1005 from the date 11 July until 20 July. For the fourth queries, identify the product name that price that exceed RM 100 and above. So for the SQL statement, select product table dot product name, product table dot product price. So from the product table, whereas the product table dot product price is greater than 100. So as you can see for the output of the table, all the product price is above 100 ringgit. For the fifth queries, state Zami customer ID, name, phone number and email address. So for the SQL statement, select customer table dot customer ID, customer table dot customer name, customer table dot customer phone number, customer table dot customer email from customer table, whereas the customer table dot customer name is Zami. So for the output of the table, you can look, we can get the customer ID for Zami, for his phone number and his email. So for the next one is show the invoice ID and description for cash only. So for the SQL statement, select invoice table dot invoice ID, invoice table dot payment ID, invoice table dot payment method, and from invoice table, whereas the invoice table dot payment method is equal to cash. So you can see for the output of the table, for the invoice 1001 and invoice 1004, we use the payment method for cash. For the next query, question 7, display product ID, product name and price in descending order. So for the SQL statement, select product table dot product ID, product table dot product name, product table dot product price from the product table, and we include the order by product table dot product price in descending order. As you can see for the output of the table, all the product name and the product price is in descending order from the top to the bottom. For the 8 queries, state product name and quantity and do not display the ID. So for the SQL statement, select order detail table and product name, order detail table and the quantity, and select also the product name of the ID. But we tick the box in not show. So for the output for the table, it just show the product name and the quantity. For the 9 queries, set the product name and product price less than RM100 and make it an ascending order. So for the SQL statement, select product table dot product ID, product table dot product name, product table dot product price, and from product table, whereas the product table dot product price is less than 100. So for the output we can get is all the price is less than 100, and order it by ascending order from the top to the bottom. For the last one queries, display the order ID, customer ID, product ID, time, date, and employee ID for the invoice 1003. So as you can see for the SQL statement, as for the output of the table, we can get the order ID, customer ID, product ID, order time, order date, employee ID for the invoice 1003. That's all from me. Thank you.
In conclusion, dealing with the constant changes in technology can cause problems for a company and the industry. It belongs to adapting to these changes need careful planning and forward thinking. We look forward to working with you. No address, just keep us in your heart. Call when you need us only, okay? That's all. Thank you for us.